Chesterfield. This sofa needs no introduction. The Chesterfield is the most recognizable sofa ever designed. Its extremely comfortable seats and imposing, luxurious aesthetics reveal all its tradition and sophistication. Deep tufts of buds on all surfaces, curled arms that rise exactly to the same height as the back, and they are almost always upholstered in leather, typically dark and beautifully aged. It was created at the request of none other than Lord Philip Stanhope, the 4th Earl of Chesterfield, hence the name. He commissioned this project in 18th century England with a very specific request: a seat that would allow him to sit upright for hours without wrinkling his clothes. The result was a piece of furniture so perfect in proportions that it had barely changed in almost 3 centuries. Many years have passed since its creation, but the Chesterfield has become one of the most famous and beloved upholstered pieces in the world. It is, without a doubt, the most imposing sofa on this list.
The Camelback. Named for the distinctive arch of its back, meaning camel's back, rising at the center and descending gracefully into the arms, the Camelback sofa is an exercise in elegance and a true game changer. It was the first piece of furniture to be named after its designer, rather than a monarch. Thomas Chippendale, in the 18th century, became the first furniture designer in history to have a style bear his own name. His Camelback sofa was immediately embraced by the Georgian aristocracy, who prized its formal, upright silhouette as a symbol of refinement.
The exposed wood legs, often cabriole legs with carved details, and the tight upholstery of the back give it an elegant, structured appearance that no other sofa quite matches. It is a piece that never truly went out of style. Today, it serves as a statement piece in classic, eclectic, and contemporary interiors alike. The Cabriole? It originated in 18th century France during the reign of Louis XV. Its name derives from the old horse-drawn coaches and carriages of the era. If the Camelback is refined, the Cabriole is romantic. The Cabriole takes the arched back of its cousin and adds a continuous curved line that flows from back to arm to leg in one uninterrupted movement. No hard angles, no abrupt transitions, just fluid, organic curves that feel almost alive. Born from the French Rococo tradition of the 18th century, a period that was, frankly, allergic to straight lines, the Cabriole represents furniture design at its most expressive. It was conceived to be beautiful, not just functional. It represents the transition from purely utilitarian furniture design to pieces focused on comfort and elegance. The English roll arm. Here is a sofa that understands the difference between elegance and comfort and refuses to choose between them. The English roll arm is defined by its low, rounded arms, significantly lower than the back, and its tight, disciplined upholstery. Unlike the Chesterfield, which dominates a room, the English roll arm settles into it. It was built to be comfortable and to be a constant part of everyday domestic life. It is the sofa of the country house, the room that has been lived in for generations and gets better with time. The low arms have a very practical origin. They allowed Victorian readers to recline with a book without the arms getting in the way. With its generous seat and softly sprung frame, it established the template for what we now recognize as the classic English rolled arm sofa. The Tuxedo. The history of the Tuxedo sofa dates back to the 1920s in the United States. The name refers to Tuxedo Park, an exclusive community located in New York State, known for being home to the American social elite. Arms and back at exactly the same height. Clean, straight lines on every surface. No curves, no organic shapes, no historical references. It shares its name with the famous New York estate where the dinner jacket was introduced. And like that garment, it is defined by restraint. Everything unnecessary has been removed. What remains is perfect. If the Chesterfield says, "I have history," the Tuxedo says, "I have taste." Both are right. The Lawson. The Lawson sofa is, in a way, the most American sofa on this list, and a relatively recent one at that. Commissioned in the early 20th century for businessman, writer, and magnate Thomas W. Lawson, a man who, by all accounts, valued comfort above appearances, it broke entirely with the formal European tradition that had dominated furniture design for centuries. Deep seat cushions, low casual arms. The Lawson is the sofa for people who actually use their living room. Its distinction lies in being completely unpretentious while still looking entirely put together. It is the sofa that makes a house feel like a home. The Bridgewater is a comfortable, welcoming option. It features low rolled arms, loose cushions, and a deep seat. Its slightly softer lines help create a casual and inviting atmosphere in any room. Its design is simple and classic, the kind of sofa that seems made for Sunday afternoons and long conversations. It originated in English country houses of the Victorian era and has never fully lost its association with ease and unhurried living. In a world that increasingly values efficiency over experience, there is something quietly radical about a sofa designed simply to be comfortable. The mid-century modern. Mid-century modern is a design style that became enormously popular in the middle of the 20th century. It is characterized by clean, simple lines and a complete absence of ornamentation. In the 1950s and 60s, furniture designers made a decision. They were no longer interested in history. The mid-century modern sofa emerged from that declaration of independence. Low profile, tapered wooden legs, always visible, never hidden. Clean horizontal lines. Upholstery in bold, solid colors. Mustard, teal, burnt orange that announced itself without apology. Designers like Florence Knole, Vladimir Kagan, and the team at Herman Miller understood that a sofa could be sculptural, that it could carry the same visual integrity as a work of art. Form follows function was their mantra. But what they discovered was that when you get the form right, function follows naturally. The mid-century modern sofa is perhaps the most copied style in furniture history, which tells you everything about how right they got it. The sectional. The sectional sofa is a genuinely American invention, and it reflects something genuinely American about how we think about space. Born in the post-war suburban boom of the 1950s, it was designed for the new open-plan living room, a space that needed furniture flexible enough to define zones without walls. The result was a sofa that could be configured, reconfigured, expanded, and adapted. A piece of furniture that works with the architecture rather than against it. Today, the sectional dominates the American living room, and for good reason. It is the sofa for family life, for gathering, for the particular pleasure of a room where everyone fits at once. Not every piece of furniture needs to make a design statement. Sometimes, the most intelligent design decision is simply to make room for everyone. The Knole. Of all the sofas on this list, the Knole has the most extraordinary origin story. It was made in the 17th century, most likely around 1640. It takes its name from Knole House in Kent, England, where the original version was crafted in the early 1600s for King James I. Originally, it was not created to be a sofa at all, but an armchair. The idea was for it to resemble a throne, where an aristocrat or monarch would sit to receive visitors. Its defining feature is its high, adjustable sides. They can be lowered flat, transforming it into a daybed, or raised upright, returning it to its original armchair form. The contemporary. And finally, the style that refuses to be defined by any single style. The contemporary sofa. It is not a historical category. It is a living one. It is what happens when designers take everything that came before, strip it down to its essentials, and ask, what does a sofa actually need to be? The answers vary enormously. A floating platform sofa with no visible base, a modular system that can take almost any shape, a single continuous curve of foam and fabric with no separate cushions, no separate arms, just one uninterrupted form. The materials are equally diverse, high-performance fabrics that resist everything, sustainable foams, recycled frames. What unites all contemporary sofas is their relationship with the present. They do not borrow from history or pretend to be something they are not. They belong to their moment. And in the best examples, they are extraordinary because of it.